Hello, if you're already watching, bear with. Come say hi, leave a comment. Who's watching? Just sharing into members group. Okay, there we go. Get a bowl out for some rubbish. Yeah, that'll do. Hello. So, I'm making BBQ Crusted Salmon today. I know the angle's a bit weird. It's like really, really close up, but you know, it'll do. The table is closer to the wall. Hi, Sue. So I've just had to try and move it as far back as I can. But yeah, we are a bit closer than normal, but it's fine. So, making BBQ Crusted Salmon today. I've had this piece of salmon defrosting because you might remember we got some large sides of salmon in the reduced section in Morrison's a little while ago. And so they were basically just chopped up and frozen in pieces like this. Now this is, I reckon, about 250 grams. So compared to average size fillets that we normally get from Lidl, it's 2 fillets. 240 grams. Hi, Kath. How are you? So I'm going to cut that in half because I'll have half today and half later. And then I got a little bit of a different idea for the crumb. So, now it's folded up a little bit, but this is a new flavour of wrap that we're testing out. It's a chili wrap. I baked it in the Ninja. That's why it's a bit of a funny shape, because I put it on the pizza tray, which has got holes in, so the airflow has sort of curled it up. But it's gone crispy, which is what I wanted. I'm going to use that instead of normal, like the usual breadcrumbs I'd use. I'd normally find a bit of bread in the freezer that we've cooked a little while ago and frozen down, or you could make a 90-second bread, toast that, and blitz that down for breadcrumbs. But today I'm going to try it out because obviously I've got the chili flavour from this, and then I'm going to chuck in the paprika-y garlic additions that I'd normally do as well. Hi, Mark. Would you say this is good for chicken? Not a massive salmon fan. I reckon it'd work, yeah. It's just another breadcrumb coating. We've got a few in the library now. But I really like this one because it's quite chunky, if that makes sense. So, cut the salmon in half. I've got 2 tubs out. I'm going to put 1 egg, whisk an egg up in one of them. This is pretty standard for any of the breadcrumb fillings that we breadcrumb coatings we'd use. So, first tub is for the egg. Most of this won't be used. It's just obviously to coat the salmon. And I'm actually going to do some Swede rice to go alongside it. So I might chuck the rest of the egg in the rice, make sort of like kind of like an egg fried rice, but it's not going to be much egg to rice ratio. Hi, Miriam. How are you? Okay, so let's get the measurements up. Although we all know I'm probably not going to follow them very well, even though it's my recipe. Right, BBQ Crusted Salmon. Yeah, so the keto breadcrumbs of choice, I use 60 grams of linseed bread, or for a milder flavour, go for mega or 90-second bread. Basically, any of the breads in the library will work. Hi, Alan. First I've made, and I love salmon and chilies. Nice. Loving your channel. Thank you. So, yeah, I've got a chili wrap, panda wrap. That was an experiment. Obviously, it's really crispy because I've just toasted it in the Ninja for like 10 minutes. I'm going to blitz this down in the little bullet processor I've got over there and chuck in the seasonings. And I think, I know it says barbecue blend. I might use that. I know I've already got chili in the wrap, but, you know, There's not much chili in the barbecue blend. My other go-to combination would just be paprika and garlic, obviously. But yeah, we'll have this nice and crispy. Essentially, I just want to toast it first. This will go with any of the keto bread you make. Toast it first, and then it's easier to sort of blitz into breadcrumbs and not just like a mush. You don't want a mush. So, let's see. Do I have any? Oh, do I use this? Or do I? Yeah. Do you know what? No. Let's do like a homemade version. So I've got paprika and garlic powder, chili in the wraps. I'll put some salt in. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as that. Fairly basic. So, a bit of salt. As I said, it's normally the barbecue blend from Ketoroma in this, but you can change this. It doesn't have to be a barbecue coating. It can be whatever you want. Yeah, Coco's sniffing around because I've got salmon out. She loves salmon, but she's just had a treat. Yeah, and she's headed back upstairs now. Yeah, we'll leave it as that. Okay. So, I'll see how this blitzes down. Should be fairly speedy. So there's some big chunks left, but I don't want to blitz it all down a lot. So let's have a look. No, I'm going to go a little bit further. It's still way too chunky to sort of stick to the salmon. I don't mind it if it's a little bit powdery than normal. It's all about experimenting. Yeah, that's getting better. Alright, I'll leave it as that. Yeah, so it's gone. There's some powdery parts, there's some that are quite chunky still. That's as good as I'm going to get with such a small amount. It's because there's barely anything in the processor, so it's struggling to reach some of the wrap. But it smells great already. A great way of mixing in the spices quickly. So that's the toasted wrap mixed with some of the spices. One thing I need to do is I'm going to cook these in the foodie. Just because it's nice and easy. The grill will make Coco sort of sneeze all over the place. I just want to find... We have like a gripper thing that we use to pick up the trays. No idea where it's gone. So we'll use... Hey Karen! I'm using the glove. It's not the most useful for this situation. Who decided the ninja tray should be so close to the end of the pot? Right, there we go. No, I'm not going to use that tray, but I'm going to use that rack. That was the tray I used to cook the wrap. Right, here's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do, whilst I'm just prepping the salmon, I'm going to heat this tray up. Yeah, heat the tray up. Don't touch it with normal hands. Sure, the metal wiring is not as hot as the bloody oven tray. There we go. That and that. There you are. I'm going to heat that up. I'm going to use a bit of oil. And then when it goes skin down, I'll have nice crispy skin. This is some leftover, I think it might be lamb fat. But it's not, no, it might not be. It's not. So, chicken. Just from leftover roasting. We always have a pot of this. So I'm going to pop that in the bottom of the tray. And then pop that in the foodie. Just whilst we coat the salmon. Get that heating up. I'm going to put it on bake/roast. I've just kept the preset time of 190, 15 minutes. I'll adjust it when the salmon goes in. I don't want it too hot because I want the salmon to cook nicely without burning the outside. So that's why I'm going for slightly lower. Whereas if I was just using the salmon with no coating, I'd probably put it on grill because it does salmon very nicely on grill function. But anyway, salmon fillet in egg. I'm going to let that drain off a little bit. Oh, look how well that's coated. Oh, wow. You don't have to do both sides if you don't want to. I like to. That is pretty good. Next one. I might not have enough to coat both sides of the salmon with that. As I said, I only blitzed down one wrap, so it's not quite the 60 grams of breadcrumbs the recipe originally calls for. But I'm usually left over with loads. Yeah, I know, fab. It was really well coated, and those were quite chunky pieces of wrap still, which means it's going to have a really crispy coating. I'm looking forward to this. I do like this recipe. I like salmon regardless. But right, here we go. This is the remnants. That's still pretty well coated for such a small amount left in the tub. Let's see if I can do the skin. Just shaking it so that it goes up the sides as well. Yes. Look at that. That is so well coated. Wow. I'm dead proud of that. Okay. So, this doesn't take long to heat up at all. The oil is already fully melted. I'll take it out so we can place the salmon in there. Okay. So the tray's warm, it's not super hot. With the spatula, I just spread the oil around the bottom of the tin. I'm going to place it skin side down because the tin will get quite hot, so that will keep the skin nice and crispy. Okay, and then I'm going to put it back in. What does it say? Preheat the Ninja grill/oven to around 220. So, do you know what? I'll leave the foodie on what it says, the 190. I know it's a little bit lower than what the recipe says, but the wrap is already pretty toasted. I don't want to sear it with loads of heat. Let me just reposition the salmon. Okay, so we'll put the time back on 15 minutes and I'll check it after that. Now, on to the side dish, which again will be quite straightforward. I've got some leek and I've got some Swede. Let me go get another knife from the dishwasher. I don't want to use a small knife for this Swede. Never get through it, and we only have a couple of these bigger ones. Right, I'm going to make enough rice for both me and Louis. Louis won't eat the salmon. He's not a fan of salmon. I think he'll have a steak that's in the fridge. But I will do the side for both of us. So I'm going to do about... The scale's going crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them. Gravity is obviously acting differently there. I'm going to do about 400 grams of Swede. Again, I should have peeled that before I cut it. Too late now. That's fine. So that was a 200 gram piece. Right. So that'll be enough for the both of us. Working on about... Ooh. Almost spilled everything everywhere then. That'll be about... it's about 5-ish carbs per 100 grams. And we work on about 200 each. It's a large portion of rice. You can reduce it if you want to. It's not a problem. There is some broccoli stalk in the fridge as well, which I was going to combine with it, but I thought, you know what? No, let's go just Swede. Let's make life easier. Although I always, without a doubt, make this mistake where I don't peel the Swede before I cut it, and then you have really weird pieces to peel. So I'm just going to use a knife to get rid of these parts. I've never tried the hack of microwaving a Swede to make it easier to cut. This knife is really good at it's quite sharp still. But if you do struggle, quite a few of the people in the public group have suggested microwaving the Swede first, just to soften it. It's got barely any skin on it. So Swede rice is one of Louis' favourites. Anything Swede is one of Louis' favourites. I suppose Swede chips would have worked nicely. But I can't be bothered to parboil the Swede chips. We've been here for ages. So, rice it is. One of the quickest ways to use Swede. So I'm going to use the same processor. Usually, I get about 200 grams worth of Swede in there at a time. I can already smell that salmon, as in, like, the barbecue sort of coating. That's very nice. And that's saying something, because I still have a bit of a cold. So if I can smell it, it smells pretty good. Yes, so or leave it in the fridge for a couple of weeks and it will go soft. Yes, there's the other option. Although if the Swede is in the fridge, Louis usually wants to use it up, so it never lasts a couple of weeks. Right, I'll blitz this bit of Swede first. I should have probably got the pan going on, but I'm not really doing many things in order today. Okay. That only takes a couple of seconds. It's not really going to focus properly, but it's the size of normal rice. Right. I'll use the same fat that's back there. It's not really got much seasoning in it, but it is nice to use. I've only got a little bit left as well. So we'll chuck this in. Probably about 10-15 grams. I forget, it's different to the hob behind me. Need to turn that up all the way first. I've also got some leek out because I always like adding a bit of shallot or leek to the rice. There we go. Oh, some egg did get spilled. Lovely. It's all getting washed anyway. Drama in the kitchen. How is everyone? Have you been batch cooking at all? Or is anyone else cooking dinner whilst you're watching this, or is it a bit early? Sue, you've probably eaten. What did you have? Right, let's get the colander. Wash some of this leek whilst we wait for the oil to heat up. Come on, get off the spatula. Right. So you had salmon with curry salt on, lovely with soda bread. It's a weird combo, soda bread and salmon. I did it nice though. Right, so I didn't weigh that, but bit of leek in there. First lot of Swede rice. Sure, there's two things I haven't made in ages, Sue. Soda bread and ice cream. We've had a pretty miserable weather, to be honest, today. I've not really wanted ice cream. But yesterday, it was really nice. Just had smoked bacon with leek, celery, and carrot slaw. Wow. It was Greek yogurt and garlic and smoked paprika. It was delicious. Yeah, that does sound good. Right, second batch of Swede rice. In it goes. And as always, it's like, this is really simple. Now it's in. I'll turn the heat down a little bit because it's still on really high. Add the lid and sort of get it to steam. Especially with Swede, you can see the colour change. Goes a lot more vibrant yellow. Bits at the bottom are already starting to go. Right, so suggestions. What do I add to this? So it's going with the salmon for me. Louis will be having a steak, I think, with it. Not that he really cares much about flavour combinations. It all gets mixed up anyway for him. So what are we adding? Sue's roasted paprika. I hope no one gets tired of me using paprika so much. But it is one of my favourites. In my opinion, you can't get tired of paprika. So, yeah, there. Right. Don't need any of that. So I have salt, paprika, and garlic here. Am I using these? Or, what else do I have? I know I have herbs somewhere. Don't have any mixed herbs, but I have seen. I've got parsley. I don't know where that would go. Got thyme. Sage. Sage wouldn't really go. Would thyme work? I don't really know how to use herbs. I usually just use mixed Italian. Thyme would work. It's quite nice. It'll only take a couple of minutes. I can already see the water forming on top there. It's not a huge batch of rice either. It's quite a wide pan, so it cooks fairly quickly. So, salmon's been in for 10 minutes. It smells great. Yeah, still got a couple of minutes to go. I've checked a couple more minutes on the timer. Yeah, garlic and paprika are the norm here too. So what's everyone's go-to spice combinations? Because that's ours, without a doubt. Right, I'm just going to get some of this water in the pan. Yeah, I don't know whether you can see the colour change, but about half the rice is a very vibrant yellow now. The leek's obviously gone quite green. Actually, there's a good shout. Yes, lots of pepper, especially in a veg dish like this. It does work. Cabbage especially works with pepper. So, salt. Do paprika. I'm not going to do Louis' amount of paprika where the rice would be bright red. Garlic granules, although I do always prefer to use fresh garlic. I feel like it tastes a lot better. But garlic powder was out. Bit of thyme. And a pepper grinder that works. Who would have thought? Okay, I'm going to give that another couple of minutes with the lid on to finish cooking through. It's a very colourful side dish. I love the way this looks on the plate. Okay. Definitely don't need any more of that. We'll leave the others out just in case. There we go. So Louis is lucky because, and I haven't been told he can't eat this, so I'm assuming he can. I haven't got much of the meat in the fridge. This is from Aldi, isn't it? Yeah, Aldi. This is a 450 gram steak. So 2 large portions for me. It might be 2 portions for Louis, but it depends on how hungry he is, what else he's eating today. But he's going to enjoy that. That'll be something to whack in the grill. I don't know whether he wants to eat straight away. I am half tempted to chuck in the rest of these into the rice because it would give it a really good texture. I don't know. Would I ruin it? It needs to be cooked because it has salmon on it. I think Dad has one of these. I think he's put his in the freezer, Sue. I made homemade smoked paprika and garlic butter out of 600ml double cream from supermarket. Froze the excess. That is amazing. I remember we went to a market a couple of years ago and I saw it was like a local dairy and they were making butter there. It's got the little jar with the bits in that help the cream shake and stuff. Fascinating to watch. I'll do it. I'll chuck them in. Some of it is just going to be like powder now. But I'll get a little bit of extra crunch. Yeah, that's what I thought, Sue. The rice is pretty much there now. It's on quite a low heat. Just sort of cooking away whilst the salmon finishes off. I'll add what's left of the egg, although some has spilled when I put the Swede over there. It's still a decent amount. So, kind of egg fried rice, but it's like one tiny bit of scrambled egg. Not enough to be called egg fried rice. Louis won't notice it. I know, exactly, Sue. Waste not, want not. Chuck everything else in the pan after you've done coating the salmon. Alright, I'll leave the lid on, but that's basically done. Turn it down to 3. Alright, any questions whilst we wait a couple more minutes? The salmon's got 2 more minutes. I'll leave it in there for that long. I won't bother touching it. Oh, I can show you these. Let me get into making my own chocolate again. So, these were made a little while ago. They're just plain chocolate. I've not added anything to them. Got some roses and some plain ones. If anyone's looking to make their own chocolates, I found this brand on Amazon, who must be new because their prices are really low, so they're trying to obviously get some ratings and some sales going through first. Sierra Organic. That was the best value cacao butter I've ever seen. And it's in the buttons, which is important. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Not that Louis cares. But yeah, I'll take the steak out. There you go. That's what it looks like. They look like white chocolate buttons. They don't taste like white chocolate buttons. Mr. Stark, this is use leek with the Swede. Yes, Gillian. So I just chopped up a little bit of leek. I tend to when I make some sort of vegetable rice. But yeah, it was mostly Swede. Hi, Kat. Swede rice, yes. Hot fish, no. Well, I think it was Mark asked earlier, and I do think this would work on chicken as well. It's like any of the other breadcrumb recipes in the library. It's just a bit more of a chunky texture. So I think it'll work. Sorry, let me let Coco out. She's not proud of anything either. Come on. Is anyone else's dog like that? Because Archie's fine, but Coco has always had an issue with grills and things being on. It's like it's the actual. I don't know whether it's the spice or there's no smoke in the kitchen at the moment. Right. Yes. And yes. 2 fully cooked pieces of salmon. Okay. Let me get a bowl. I'll do the rice first. Let's try and make this nice and pretty. Turn that off. Do you not like fish, Kat? Kat is particular about her fish, we have learned. I'm really missing my pincer things that I normally have. They would be very useful here. There we go. God, they look great. My collie dog won't stay in the kitchen. Oh, shush! Doesn't like things being put on the plate. Hang on. Sorry, Kath. My collie dog won't stay in the kitchen with the grill on, only if there's a roast dinner in the oven. Sandra, I'm late. I'm child sitting. She wants to do all and everything. Okay, so rice, about 1 portion, maybe a little bit more. And which piece do I want? Let's go for that one. There we go. So, you see I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get it to focus properly, but that is one crispy salmon fillet. So, I don't know how well you can hear that, but it's got a nice crispy coating, and I think using the slightly lower temperature was a good shout because the wrap coating, it was already quite dark when it came out of the oven from just toasting it, and it's not gone any darker apart from around the sides where it's obviously touched the oil, but that smells amazing. I can really smell the paprika and the chili on that, and the rice is obviously a really nice colour as well. It's a very colourful looking dinner there. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be Louis' side to go with his steak whenever he wants it. And then I've cooked off that salmon fillet as well. I might have that tomorrow at some point, or Dad might have it later today. So there we go. What day is it? It's Thursday. So Friday, tomorrow, 4 p.m, Dad will be back making low-carb bread. So using some of the things he's learned over the past year at the bakery. And then Sunday, 4 p.m, Sue is live making shawarma. I absolutely love that one, Sue. I might make it again as well because it is a good one, especially in the summer. I like it with a bit of a slaw, a nice wrap. I used to eat crab meat when I was young, and then as I grew older and saw that crabs are actually similar to spiders. Oh, cat. I mean, I don't like crab meat either, so. But yeah, okay. That's the story. Who knows what day it is? I haven't had a clue. No, neither do I, Sue. I need to keep checking the calendar to make sure I'm on track. All right. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope you do try this recipe out with whatever breadcrumb you want, whether it's something that you've made and chucked away in the freezer, maybe a failed bread attempt. We've had plenty of them. They work perfectly for a breadcrumb. Gillian, it's because you can't see the mess. It's there and it's there. I just haven't put it in shot. That's why. It's not a tidy kitchen at all. You just can't see it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Although I'll probably be behind the camera, but you'll be able to hear me. Ta-ra!